Why, hello there. My name is Angelica. Lovely to meet you. It is such a pleasure to meet a Gemini. We all know that the air bitches are the funnest bitches, okay? So, in fact, you know something? Let's get everything prepared. I don't want to really deep dive into it too quickly. I'm excited to validate you, but let's get into it. So I'm going to need you to just outstretch your hands really quickly. I'm going to be putting these gloves on really quickly, standard procedure, just that way we don't cross-contaminate. We don't cross-contaminate between the signs. I want to make sure that you're not like gonna touch something and make it seem like it's an air sign when, you know, or touch something and then if it has like a lot of earth energy on it, to you end up having a lot of earth energy to you and I end up like misreading you. I know it's a lot of like esoteric sort of like big brain cosmological stuff, but we just wear the gloves. We just keep it simple and wear the gloves. So let me get a little bit of lotion on, that way I have a nice soft grip on your astrological read. You do consent to being recorded, correct? This is for our training purposes, to make sure that the other interns and staff know how to conduct exams like this. Yeah, we're planning on diversifying our pool of employees who can also conduct exams like I do. So I'm just recording it for that purpose. Is that okay? Perfect. Okay, so let's get into it then. We're going to be conducting a metaphysical, physical examination and an oracle reading. Is this okay with you? The metaphysical examination will be just me digesting the fact that you are a Gemini, breaking it down to your element, your symbols, your plants, yada yada yada. And then your physical examination will be more interactive, where I will be taking a physical exam of your strong suits and checking in on how you might be feeling. We have expanded a little bit and we are trying to make this as thorough as possible during the metaphysical aspect. So, as for a Gemini, here are some strengths that you have, some weaknesses that you have, and the symbols that you have and what not. So, the element is air. You are someone who is very much trying to have a good time, go with the flow. You are a Gemini, thus you take on different personalities, different masks, depending on who you interact with, because you just want to mirror everyone else, reflect their energy back at them. Now, some people might interpret this as you being duplicitous, two-faced, or fake, but in reality, it just shows where your intelligence lies. You are highly, highly socially intelligent, genius levels, really. You take on the social situation and you perfect it to a T. Thus, you are really never going to get on someone's bad side unless they are looking for you to get on their bad side, unless they are trying to nitpick you and bring you down. Otherwise, you're really not going to try to start things with anyone, as long as they don't try to start things with you. Now, very much because your sense of moral compass, your sense of judgment isn't present until someone starts trying to ruin the vibe, ruin the social situation, then you start to judge. So, your symbol are the twins, because once again, duplicitous, two-faced, sort of, you know, multiple personality, multiple facets, but in reality that just means that you are capable of incorporating or embodying so many different energies, elements. You really are the live action actor. You are someone who can really bleed into a character and really kind of feel out the energies, emotions, and vibes of that character until that character doesn't serve its purpose, which is to have a good time, connect, kind of socialize with people, and then you take on a new skin, essentially. Your elements, or rather stones, are the citrine, the amber, the tourmaline. Now, the benefits of these stones include lends to sunniness to communication, so a sense of lightness to a conversation. Although you are capable of having very in-depth, very intuitive, very heavy conversations with people, you do tend to want to have the majority of your communication style, the majority of your interactions with people, to be very light, positive, fun, jovial. You tend to want to have a good time. Even though you do have the capacity to understand the feelings of another person, you don't really want to get into a black hole with them. And so these sort of stones help encourage those elements within you. It helps encourage you. Now, the next one is to ground high-flying imagination. You do, because it is a wonderful superpower. It is a great capacity. You have a very childish, and that's a good thing, a very childlike, rather, a very childlike sense of ambition, of goals, of purpose. You tend to not be grounded down by the realities or by your limitations that other people try to impose on you, or by realities that other people create for you. You would much rather just really give your all to whatever it is that you put your mind to whatever it is that really generates your heart, that really generates your energy to a much more energetic, sort of like electric pulse. And it doesn't matter what anyone else has to say, it doesn't matter what anyone else has to comment on it. You will pursue that to its furthest extent. And if you find that the tension there, or the friction there, does make it an impossibility, what other people would register as an impossibility or a failure, you would register more as you saying, this doesn't interest me as much anymore, I'm gonna go pursue something else. And you just translate that same energy onto a new purpose. Now, as for the last point, these stones will also help you concentrate. You might have difficulty concentrating on different subjects. You might be in a classroom setting, someone who's very much talkative perhaps, or just very highfalutin when it comes to, or perhaps highfalutin isn't the correct word, but someone who is very much engaged with the social situation around you, with creating different personalities every day, with creating different personalities every semester or year. You are someone who really are governed by engaging with others. Consequently, you might be prone to being the class clown, or being the kid that everyone knows is funny, which does not translate to the highest grades or the highest level of success, because you do have a difficulty when it comes to concentrating on more bureaucratic, boring material. You really don't find a lot of fun when it comes to reading fiction, for example, or any books that don't really have that same electric zest to it. Like, you would probably be someone reading Captain Underpants as opposed to a encyclopedia on the Russian Revolution. Let's see, your colors, very much reflective of you. I can very much see it in you. It's yellow and light green. Those are the perfect colors for you. I see that entirely. So your yellow and your light green are colors that really bring out that sense of lightness on a sunny day. Think about the sun coloring the texture of grass, or think about I don't know, a flower, a yellow little daisy. It really is such a positive sort of image. Now, your plants are the tansy, the yarrow, the privet, the hawthorn, the heather, the cedar, and the oak. Now, I think that concludes the metaphysical examination. We are now going to delve into the physical examination, so I'm going to be taking your heartbeat very quickly. Oh, furthermore, the planet that governs you is Mercury. So, let's see what organs govern the Gemini. I haven't studied this one very quickly. Throat, lungs, and breath. Obviously, it makes so much sense. Gemini is known for a certain star quality, so it makes sense that the signs that rule them are the organs that rule them are the throat, lungs, and breath. Now, as for your planet, it is Mercury, the planet of communication. So you are someone who's going to be very talkative. Even if you're not extroverted, even if you're not social, you're going to be very talkative. You might be prone to talking to yourself, or talking to a camera, or talking to a lot of people all the time. If you meet a stranger, you're going to be talking to them nonstop. If you meet someone new, you're going to be talking to them. You're just a very talkative person, naturally, and people oftentimes think that you are an open book because of this, but little do they realize that there is a certain category of talking that you have that doesn't really resonate deep down to your heart. So you might be talking a lot, seeming like an open book, but in reality your heart is closed as long as you want it to be closed, or as long as you're incapable of opening it. So let's examine your throat, lungs, and breath very quickly. Throat, lungs, and breath. So I'm going to be taking the heartbeat in your throat, and then your lungs, and then your breath. So take a deep breath for me. Now I'm going to be just taking your heartbeat very quickly. Okay, let me just settle it down. Okay, take a swallow for me. Just take a deep gulp. Like that. Excellent. Thank you. take another gulp. Okay, excellent. I'm going to be rubbing my fingers down your throat, much like this, just sort of feeling how the saliva, goes down. So take another gulp for me. Okay, excellent. Now, as for your lungs, I'm going to be taking more of a routine exam here. I'm going to need you to take a deep breath for me. Just a deep breath for me. And okay, excellent. Okay, now for your other lung. Okay, excellent. So you have done amazing. It seems that your organs are working in its best capacity. Do you mind if I take off my sweater? It's getting a little hot in here. It's fake, but it really is getting a little hot in here. Thank you. I'm just going to readjust my microphone very quickly, put it onto my straps. There we go. And then I'm going to take a quick sip of water and continue on with the oracle reading. But as I was stating, your physical examination was in perfect clean of bill of health. You seem to be someone who hasn't had their vocal cords stunted or your sense of communication stunted. My recommendation is that if someone does end up trying to silence you because you're too talkative or because they don't appreciate the communication that you offer, saying that you're too talkative or whatever, that you merely, acquiesce to their request. You end up, minimizing what you say around them because clearly they don't appreciate the magic that you offer them, because in reality what you have is truly a superpower. Your superpower is the ability to adapt and disappear and conform and reappear and make people laugh and talk and adapt, essentially. I'm going to take a quick sip of water. Oh god, water's always so good. The next sign that I'm going to be analyzing is a water sign, so I can't wait for them to come in. Now I'm going to be doing a 3-card spread with you. And as we do this 3-card spread, I'm going to ask you to picture an image in your mind. Now, because you are, oh my god. It seems my little adorable, oh, Jesus Christ. It seems my little adorable friends have disrupted my microphone, and by disrupted I mean broken my microphone. Yes, my assistants, Hannah, Allison, Brittany, and Tiffany, they have seemed to chewed through my microphone. Those fat whores. Damn it. Okay. So we're going to be giving you a 3-card spread. Now, I'm going to be asking you to close your eyes for me very quickly. Just close your eyes, close your eyes, close your eyes, close your eyes. And I'm going to need you to picture in your mind's eye right here. Picture in your mind's eye right here. Can you feel that? Excellent. I'm going to be needing you to picture the image of air. Any type of air, wind, air or wind, a breeze, wind, air, any sort of air. Picture an image of air, wind, or breeze. Now, as you get that image in your head, I want you to get more and more detailed with it. What is the color palette? What is the current situation? What is the current effect of it? What is going on with this picture of air inside your mind? Really hear the sounds of the air. Really hear what kind of sound it's making, whether it's fluttering through tree leaves or rushing through cracks. And really get a deeper understanding of this image you have inside your mind. Really let it connect with your system. Someone who's an air sign tends to be someone who's more detached, more analytical, but to a certain extent, where you are only analytical to the extent that you feel light analyzing, or you don't feel like you're driving yourself insane analyzing. You are someone who is more so, chill, going with the breeze. Your energy is essentially you just coasting on a donut above water. Essentially, you're just someone who's as light as a cloud. Typically that's your most natural state. So I want you to emotionally connect with this image in your mind the way that you naturally would. And as you have this image in your mind, I want you to think about what its consequences are, because it will reveal whether or not your emotional state currently. So for example, if you pictured a tornado, or if you pictured a storm where the trees are being blown away, essentially, you are someone who feels like you are currently in a chaotic force. You currently feel like you cannot relate to those around you, or you have been done a lot of harm by other people. So you feel like combating the society that you're in, combating the social situations that you're in, and really being force, or to the force, an unstoppable force essentially for that around you. You're really just blowing against everything now. If you pictured more of an idyllic state, like a gentle breeze against the clouds, or just, you know, something more delicate, something more light, then you currently are very at peace, very chill. Your energy is essentially Keanu Reeves in Bill and Ted's Giant Adventure, or Great Journey, I forgot the name of the movie. But you are someone who's much more go with the flow, more hippie energy. Now if you pictured something like the wind blowing through tree leaves, or if you pictured something that was like more of it interacting with other people, you are someone who is at peace, wanting to be a light, or wanting to bring peace to others, and you are currently content with that current situation. So I want you to open your eyes for me. Excellent. And really have that energy channeled within you, because we're going to start picking oracle cards. You are going to pick the oracle card that really jumps to your energy, that really feels like it's calling to you, and I will read them for you. Okay, just close your eyes and let that energy that you just channeled choose the card for you. Okay, just let it take your time, be as quick as you want, however you feel, whatever card calls out to you. Okay, this one, don't think too much, just feel it all, feel it all, feel it all. Okay, 2, one more, and 3. Excellent, you did such a good job. You can open your eyes now. Okay, so I'm going to be putting this right back into the box, and I'm going to start reading your oracle. So let's put this right back to the box. Okay, I'm going to read it from the beginning card that you chose to the last card that you chose. The first card is your grounding, it is your foundation. The last card is your direction, and the middle card is your transition. Now I'm feeling a little chilly, so I'm going to be putting on my sweater. And once again, I must apologize for the fact that the microphone doesn't currently work. Granted, it's for our own clerical use, but I guess we're just gonna have to use the built-in audio on the camera itself, because the assistants just love wrecking things. Fire signs. You know how they are. You tend to get along best with fire signs because their energy is very much electric and just constant, and because you're an air sign, you just go with the flow with them, and you really don't propose like a lot of friction or tension with them. And because they're so electric, you enjoy that sense of electricity, you enjoy that fun that they give you, and they enjoy the fact that you just go along with it. Earth and water signs tend to get along best because water tends to be very deep, introspective, and kind of goes all over the place, and the earth sign tends to ground them a little more. But typically, you could really, an air sign really does get along with any other sign. It's more so like a water sign, for example, might give you a lot of flack for seemingly being aloof or not genuine, because you are friends with everyone while they're more selective. Now let's begin with their card reading. Your first card is Jackson Pollock. So your life quote is, meaning doesn't come with titles. So if you feel like you have to be at a certain level or be a certain type of person, like for example a college graduate, or continue pursuing education or achieving some sort of level of recognition in order to feel valuable for the social situation that you're in, or in order to feel worthy of whatever social situation that you're in, and that could be the title as simple as a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a significant other, you know, any sort of role that you feel like you have to fit in order to feel valuable among other people is unnecessary. That's what it, meaning doesn't come with titles. Who you are and what your natural gifts already are have already assigned you meaning. Everything else is secondary. Now, as for your work ethic, this card tells me if fame finds you, keep working in spite of it. So basically, if you end up, you are someone who is prone to getting notoriety or getting attention, and this could be on a large scale. So if you happen to find fame, don't try to be at the mercy of trends. Don't try to be at the mercy of your audience. Don't try to please those around you. Continue to work as you naturally would, even if no one was watching, saying this fame can go to hell if it's going to become a prison. Likewise, in a social situation, if you end up gaining a lot of notoriety or having a very large friend group, same lesson applies. If they try to make you imprisoned within their idea of you, or if they try to make you please them because of their own conceptions of you, then continue to socialize with them if you so choose, in spite of their perceptions of you. And if they decide that their perception of you is more important than who you actually are, they will drop off like flies one by one. Or on the other token, you can just cease connection with them because they're clearly not respecting you enough to feel free to evolve and create and be. Create yourself as you sculpt new personalities. And lastly, for inspiration, just general inspiration, chaos is handmade. You might find yourself in a lot of chaos considering how you are an air sign. An earth sign tends to kind of see chaos and avoid it. A water sign tends to be, well, a water sign and a fire sign tend to be the chaos. And if you find yourself being the chaos, you might want to look into your natal chart and see if there's any fire or water. You, on the other hand, chaos is handmade, so you tend to kind of allow things to play out. You kind of tend to stir up drama without actually being the drama. You tend to stir up drama and just let it rain around you. And that's kind of an element of fun for you. So let's put this one to the side. Your transition period. Those are your foundations. So your transition period, this is a period of which you recognize your potential, you recognize what tools are at your hand, you recognize what could potentially be, and how you might get the direction or attain the direction or the conclusion in your future. So let's examine it. You got Louise Bourgeois, Bougie. So, your life quote is remembering through art is better than forgetting. So, I would recommend for you, instead of allowing these insults or critiques that other people might level at you for being who you are, or allowing these experiences to pass you by without recollection, I would highly recommend that you note them down in whatever medium comes naturally to you. So for example, if you enjoy recording videos, create vlogs for your own personal use or for public use, however you decide. If you are someone who enjoys art, create a painting that really captures the essence and vibe and feelings that you're currently having, using colors that represent your energy. If you enjoy writing, write it out in a journal, in a novel, in however way you express yourself. That might actually be the best way to do it because you are so communicative, aside from just speaking it out. Making a vlog or recordings, just audio recordings, or writing and journaling are the best ways for a Gemini to release that sense of communication, those words that are constantly pent up in your mind. Or if you want to more so capture the moment, painting, sculpture, if you have the means, clay sculptures, whatnot, would also be better than just forgetting it. Work and inference. An inference is worth 1,000 appendages. So an inference is worth 1,000 appendages. You are someone worth 1,000 appendages. Inference. Yeah, an inference. I think when you say inference enough, you kind of forget an inference. Inference. So I guess whatever you perceive of a situation, your insight into it is better than having 1,000 arms to combat the situation that is coming to you. So for example, you are someone who might have a lot of negative interactions with someone who's a water sign, or an earth sign might judge you for not being mature enough, and a water sign might judge you for not being honest enough. So instead of battling out these different people, it is better to have the insight to know how their minds work in order to, prepare a facade personality or a joke that might combat their judgments. And as for inspiration, draw on private pain to connect with the public. Interesting, fascinating. I love that for you. So instead of creating a very empty sense of personalities where you might end up imprisoning who you truly are within yourself, losing your true identity with all of these different personalities, much like kind of splitting yourself down to these different ideas, ultimately losing what at heart, at your core, you are, pleasing other people. Use your pain, use your emotions, use your happiness to really influence or govern what personalities you choose, because they are the most genuine and true representations or versions of you, as opposed to just creating ideas off of other people and their experiences. Now, as for your conclusion, your final form, Wassily Kandinsky. Wassily Kandinsky. I really like this art form for you. Futurism, I think it is. So Wassily Kandinsky, your life quote is, transcend systems to find spirit. Interesting. So try to transcend the societal system of having to please this one person, please this other person, please this other person, please this other person, and please, 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 please. And instead, find a sort of pleasing that really connects with your spirit, with who you are genuinely. You don't want to lose who you are at your core. That's going to be your conclusion. That's going to be your final form, is really connecting with who you genuinely are. And when you have that, you are free to express and create and socialize in a way that you know you have that sense of grounding, keeping you home to yourself. Your work ethic, hear music through sight. So as you are processing, whether it be communications or whether it be art or whether it be music, you're going to want to do so through a visual lens, because that is the best way you learn. So ultimately, learning the best ways that you adapt to the situation, respecting the best ways that you adapt to a situation, is going to be the most beneficial to you. Ultimately, it is just to respect how you are processing the information you're confronted with, respecting the way that you interact with the world, and understanding the fact that whatever information comes to you is going to be in the most solid, concrete way. You're not really going to be looking too deeply into it. Now, that point might be a little fluffy or fluffed up, but let's get to the inspiration quote, the last inspiration quote. Begin with a dot. Keep things simple. You're not someone who's very oriented towards details. You're not someone who's very oriented to the big picture. You really don't want to keep things, you really don't want to complicate things or make things complex. You want to keep things simple because you ultimately feel more comfortable in simplicity. So begin with a dot. You're going to want to keep life very simple, very calm, very relaxed. Now, do you have any questions for me? Okay, excellent. Let me get these gloves off of you then. Perfect. And I hope you enjoyed this experience. I hope it gave you a little bit of insight, and I hope you take care. Okay. Bye.